Welcome. Today we are looking at history on topic number 1, peoples of Kenya up to the 19th century. Reasons for the migration of the Cushites. They were pastoralists and needed pasture for their livestock. They were also cultivators and required land for growing crops. Population growth made the original homeland inadequate for normal settlement. Number 4, they were driven by drought, which led to famine. Number 5, there were outbreaks of various diseases which afflicted people and livestock. Internal quarrels over land made migration necessary. Quarrels and attacks from their neighbors also contributed to the migrations. A spirit of adventure was another reason for migration. Results of the migration and the settlement of the Cushites. They intermarried with other Kenyan communities. The Borana, for example, intermarried with the Bukomo. Their migration and settlement into Kenya led to conflicts and even wars between them and other communities. Trading activities developed between them and neighboring communities. Cultural exchanges between them and other communities developed. That is, they brought the practice of circumcision and some characteristics of the age-set organization. Some communities became extinct through natural absorption by the Cushites. Their settlement led to the formation of strong alliances between some communities, for example, the Rendille and the Samburu, to guard against attacks by the Turkana. Some communities were displaced by the Cushites, for example, Mijikenda. Let's look at the reasons for the migration of the Bantu. They were looking for new lands for agriculture. They were looking for new lands for settlement as a result of the growth in the population. Internal conflicts arising from population pressure led to migration. Natural calamities such as drought and famine led to migration. The outbreak of diseases caused migration. Attacks by neighboring communities led to migration to safer areas. Their knowledge of iron working facilitated migration as they could make tools to clear new lands and weapons for defense and attack. Some migrated for adventure. Results of the migration and the settlement of the Bantu. They spread their knowledge of iron working and smelting. They interacted with other communities that they came into contact with, leading to cultural exchanges. They intermarried with neighboring communities. Some communities were displaced by the Bantu. They assimilated some of the communities that they came into contact with. Trade developed between the Bantu and other communities. Their migration and settlement intensified conflicts between them and neighboring communities. There was population redistribution in the region, with the original occupants of the land being pushed to areas that were unsuitable for human settlement. Reasons for low migration: population pressure, search for better land for cultivation and livestock rearing, search for fishing areas, external attacks from the Cushites, internal conflicts, need to escape from drought and famine, search for adventure, outbreak of human and animal diseases, results of the migration and the settlement of the Luo. They absorbed other people, for example, the Abasuba. They intermarried with their neighbors. Some people lost their land through Luo migration. The occupation of fertile land influenced some of the Luo to adapt farming at a larger scale. The Luo traded with their neighbors, for example, the Abaguse, the Abakuria, the Kalenjin, and the Abaluya. It increased conflicts between them and the neighboring communities. There was cultural exchange between the Luo and their neighbors. It led to population increase in the region. Their settlement led to the spread of their economic practices such as fishing. Highland Nilotes. Reason for the migration of Highlands Nilotes. They were looking for better pasture and water for their livestock. They were escaping from drought and famine, population pressure, outbreak of human and animal diseases, internal conflicts, external attacks from other communities, love for adventure. Results of the migration and settlement of the Highland Nilotes. They intermarried with neighboring communities, for example, the Bagusi and the Luo. Communities such as the Maasai were displaced. They assimilated some Cushitic communities such as the C.R.E. Their settlement intensified intercommunal conflicts between the communities in the region. Trading activities developed between them and neighboring communities. Plains Nilotes. Reasons for the migration of the plain Nilotes: population increase, drought and famine, outbreak of human and animal diseases, internal conflicts over grazing lands, external attacks, love of adventure. Maasai. Results of the migration and settlement of the Maasai. Trading activities developed between them and other communities, for example, the Akamba and the Agikuyu. They intermarried with their neighbors. The Maasai influenced improvements in the military techniques of their neighbors. Their settlement in the region intensified intercommunal conflicts. Cultural exchanges developed between them and neighboring communities. A section of the Maasai, the Kwavi, adapted the practice of farming from neighboring Bantu communities. What we are saying, that is a section of the Maasai community, that is the Kwavi, adapted the practice of farming. Thanks a lot for subscribing and listening to me. God bless you.